We welcome you inside Moby Arena here in Fort Collins. Huge battle tonight between two of the hottest teams in Mountain West Conference, Utah State and Colorado State. Abel Porter to the rack along with Gonzaga All-American Dan Dickau, Jason Horowitz. The Aggies coming in winners of 5 of their last 6. Meanwhile, Colorado State has won 8 of its last 9, with the only loss being in Logan about 3 weeks ago.
These two teams have both been playing very well as of late. This will go a long ways to determining who's going to be that 2nd seed going into the Mountain West tournament, because it looks like San Diego State is going to continue to pull away.
Turnover, steal, Justin Bean, the sophomore, coast to coast, known more for his defensive abilities and his rebounding, but they are confident in his offensive abilities moving forward.
He just plays hard. Active on the glass, averages double figures in rebounds that time, coming up with a steal with the extra effort, and then finish in transition.
Aggies have started 5 of 6. Colorado State hit its first 2, both dunks. Had a couple of turnovers. Good cross-court pass and an open 3 for the freshman. Isaiah Stevens drilled it.
Haven't talked at all about Stevens, but freshman from the Houston, Texas area leads them in scoring and assists.
Keita might have gotten away with a little bit of an off arm, and he already has a foul here in the early going.
Well, both these bigs, Carvacho for Colorado State and Keita for Utah State, if they can get low post position, they are so difficult. They can score with either hand down low.
Carvacho's trapped, fought it up to the rim. And a rebound to Sam Merrill, who is 4 points shy of 2,000 for his career. Will be the 4th Aggie to hit that mark. The dish out to Porter, and Utah State can't miss. 7 of 8 to start the game, and a 9-point lead. Timeout, Colorado State. For those of you watching on CBSSports.com, our streaming coverage will conclude after the commercial break, but we'll continue on CBS Sports Network, and you can find us by going to CBSSportsNetwork.com/channel finder. Utah State coming out strong on the road. 3-point shooters who have been struggling, not so far tonight. They're up 9. Welcome inside Moby Arena. Happy to have you back with us here. Jason Horowitz, Dan Dickau. Utah State off to a hot start, 7 of 8 to open this game. Dan, Utah State's a team preseason pick to win this league unanimously. They are on the bubble heading into the night, and this is their best quad 1, quad 2 type game remaining in the regular season, one they know they have to have. Lights out so far.
Yeah, they came out ready to play. 7 of 8 from the field. And their leading scorer, Sam Merrill, hasn't even scored yet. The ball has done a nice job moving side to side. Good recognition of double teams. And then different guys have stepped up and knocked down shots when the opportunity has presented themselves.
All right, so San Diego State into the night 13-0. They've got New Mexico later tonight. Colorado State and Utah State really have climbed out of holes to charge up the standings. But Boise State, Nevada, UNLV, they're all fighting for that 2 seed in the Mountain West Conference Tournament, which we'll have here on CBS Sports Network coming up the first week of March.
And a lot of what you're talking about with those teams searching for an ability to create some separation, none of those teams have really gone on the road and won yet. If any of those can figure it out, they can distance themselves, but this is a tough league to win on the road.
Carvacho again found an open shooter, Kendall Moore. And how has Colorado State won 8 of 9? They have been blistering hot from beyond the arc. 42% from 3 the last 9 games.
They've got a number of shooters. Stevens, Moore, Thistlewood, who hasn't even attempted a 3 yet, might be their best shooter.
Keita, too strong, follows his own miss. Thought he was fouled. Here comes the freshman Roddy leading the break. David Roddy, the 6'5" freshman from Minneapolis. They have been a different team since he entered the starting lineup. And Isaiah Stevens, maybe the best freshman in Mountain West.
He's already earned at least 1 Mountain West Player of the Week honor. He talked to Coach Nico Medved. He says he doesn't even act like a freshman. He comes prepared. Knowing scouting reports, just the leadership factor has been very impressive as a freshman to go alongside, obviously, the numbers he's put up.
Merrill around a screen. That's a 2. So Sam Merrill now 2 shy of 2,000 for his career.
He's so patient on that pick and roll. The defense makes the slightest of mistakes. Merrill makes you pay.
We asked him today, what does it mean for 2,000 points? He said, I've been healthy. Been able to play a lot of games. Stevens dishes to the open Thistlewood in the corner. High off the rim, and another board for Justin Bean, who had 16 on Saturday night in the win against Boise State. Porter has already made it 3 tonight. Colorado State is trailed by as many as 9 here in the early going. Stevens around the screen. He is such a smooth-looking player.
I talked about Merrill playing it at his own pace. For Stevens to come off a pick and roll 2 consecutive times and read the defense has been impressive. He does not get sped up, which is a lot more difficult to do as a freshman when defenses are keyed on you.
And it's ripped away by Moore. He's got the 7-footer chasing him down, and that caused a bad shot.
Oh, great job by Keita, staying out of harm's way and getting that second foul.
Diago Brito is in the game. Merrill on the drive, high off the arc. Keita throws it up high off the backboard.
Well, when you switch defensively, which Colorado State will do at times, you've got to understand who you've switched on to take the responsibility and block out early. Moore that time gave up nearly a foot and over 100 pounds to Keita.
Stevens already with 7, now a turnover. Bean leading the break, it's 3-on-2. Finds Merrill trailing. Real thought about the 3, it's Porter from the same spot. And again, they've knocked out some 3s here in the early going. They are not a good 3-point shooting team. Moore.
Well, their numbers over the course of the season show that they're not a great shooting team, only 32% from beyond the arc, but they've got guys who can knock it down. Merrill, Brock Miller is a really good 3-point shooter. Porter has knocked one down already. But sometimes when you're known as a good shooting team, they get that taken away.
Well, their best shooter just found a layup, and that layup gives them 2,000 career points.
If you are a scoring threat, if you become a great screener, create problems, mistakes will happen. That time, Merrill sets a back screen, frees himself up.
Carvacho into the corner, it's out to Thistlewood. Contested 3, he was hit on the shot. Keita comes down with it as already a 6th rebound, and we haven't played 9 minutes. That was certainly a concern tonight for Niko Medved, the rebounding battle. Timeout coming on the next whistle. Good action. Carvacho finishes at the rim on a beautiful feed by Roddy.
Well, Roddy was a high school quarterback. When he got word he was not going to play that at the college level, he transferred all that love to basketball. Phenomenal find on the high-low.
And you can see, too, as a freshman, he is wide, he is big, and he can score 16 points a game since coming into the starting lineup. And that is a foul called on Carvacho. He was absolutely sliding as Keita hit the deck, so the foul on Colorado State. But Sam Merrill with a layup, one of the easier buckets in his career. Now one of 4 Aggies to hit 2,000 career points.
Well, you get to 2,000 by making easy shots, making difficult shots, big shots. Merrill, a layup to get to 2,000.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by DiGiorno. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno. By Tums. Goes to work in seconds for fast heartburn relief. And by AT&T.
Now, there's no doubt that Tim Miles is watching this game tonight between 2 of his former assistant coaches. Greg Smith for Utah State in his 2nd season leading the Aggies. Niko Medved in his 2nd season after stints at Furman and Drake, doing a phenomenal job turning around Colorado State. Both spent time right here in Fort Collins. Loved their time here. And, you know, we talked to Coach Medved about taking on Craig Smith, who he has yet to beat with this Colorado State team. And it's like, I can't worry about Craig Smith. They got too many good players I got to worry about.
Yeah, you know, I've always kind of subscribed to the thought that most coaches in a new setting will need 3 or 4 years to implement their culture, their philosophy, get their recruits in. Well, Niko Medved has definitely sped that up with the freshmen that he's been able to get on campus here in his second year.
All right, some substitutions. Dorius on the floor for Utah State. Merrill steps back and drills it.
Wow.
That's something that Medved has seen plenty of against Craig Smith.
The first meeting this year, 28 points to go along with 5 assists. The ability to create separation and elevate is something he did not have early in his career.
Well off the mark on another contested three. Brito pulls up from 3, and Utah State has drilled 4 of 7, its largest lead of the half.
Usually Colorado State is the one that is pushing the tempo, but Utah State, off the rebound and off turnovers, they are looking to get the ball down the floor in a hurry.
Edwards out to Deshaun Thomas off the bench. One of the things that Medved said he did not do enough of in the trip to Logan. Didn't think he played his bench enough. And he thought they were worn down the stretch. He's got his bench players on now. And a foul coming up on Colorado State. Utah State again coming in conference games alone. They are at the bottom of the Mountain West, but you wouldn't know that by the early going tonight.
Not at all. Merrill creating space and over the top, and then Brito getting down the floor in transition, flattening the defense. If you're not going to climb up into him, you're going to give him space. But you talked about the bench for Colorado State in that last matchup. If you're a bench player or early in your career, you've got to earn the coaching staff's trust. That time, Deshaun Thomas comes into the game, shoots an ill-advised 3, only his second attempt from deep.
Down to 4 on the shot clock. Merrill's got to go to work, pulls up for 3. And a fight for the rebound and a over-the-back call on Alfonso Anderson. His first personal, the junior from Tacoma, Washington, who was at North Idaho College. He had 24 in their win against LSU. Sam Merrill has passed Wayne Estes for now 3rd all-time. And you know, Wayne Estes, the great at Utah State, who scored, as they were telling us the story today, 48 points on February 8th, 1965 to go over 2,000 for his career, and then tragically passed away that night when he hit a live wire with his head.
A sad story in Logan. But good to see Sam Merrill put together such a phenomenal career.
I finished that story on Wayne Estes. He was trying to help out on an auto accident when he tragically passed away. Sam Merrill has now passed him for 3rd, and they're traveling on Utah State. Second turnover for the Aggies. This looks like the team, not that possession, but this looks like the team as to why they were picked preseason unanimous to win the Mountain West, preseason top 25, and expected to go back to a 2nd straight NCAA tournament.
Well, they were really good offensively a season ago. You know, they struggled with some injuries early in the season as Isaiah Stevens knocks down a mid-range jumper for Colorado State. But Utah State struggled with some injuries. They've kind of had to reinvent their rotations a couple different times. And Craig Smith feels like they finally have their roster healthy and in tune with each other.
Cato's a big part of that. Knee injury in the offseason, re-injured it right at the turn of the new year. Brito flashes, wide open 3. The rebound is batted around, and it's back to Colorado State after the timeout. Teams positioning in the Mountain West. Huge opportunity for a resume boost. And that's an 8-point lead. College basketball on CBS Sports Network, presented by DiGiorno tonight here at Colorado State. But tomorrow night, 10:30 Eastern, it is We Need to Talk. We'll spend a day with Swin Cash in her front office role as Vice President of Basketball Operations and Team Development with the Pelicans. It's tomorrow at 10:30 Eastern right here, only on CBS Sports Network. Newly inducted into the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, Swin Cash. Hey, speaking of needing to talk, how about talking about Sam Merrill? Now 2,000 career points. He has owned Colorado State the last couple of games, but an all-around game here in the first half.
Yeah, there is something about Colorado State that he likes. He plays very well against them. 28 in the first matchup this season, but 7 points, 3 assists early in this game. Colorado State has got to slow him down.
Well, that 38-point performance in overtime last year here in Fort Collins, and it was more special than just the career high, because for Sam Merrill and his coach, it was the opportunity to celebrate a Mountain West Conference regular season title They got to do that right here in this building where Craig Smith had spent so much time as an assistant. He said it felt weird because you're celebrating a championship where you were trying to earn one on the other side all that time.
And, you know, one of the interesting things that Coach Smith told us about Sam Merrill is Stevens does another nice job of attacking the rim, but Merrill has grown as a player. Freshman, sophomore year, more of a standstill shooter. Occasionally would come off screens. He's expanded his game each year to where he is a legitimate Player of the Year candidate again.
Now we'll see how this offense runs with him on the bench. Trying to find the open shooter. Colorado State has ramped up the defensive intensity. Porter find the open spot but can't hit. Here comes Stevens already with 11 here in the opening half. He only had 8 in the loss at Utah State. John Tanji off on the 3, but Thomas chased down the offensive board. Rams just 2 of 8 from beyond the arc here in the opening half. Edwards floats it in the lane. Thomas rips away another offensive board. Right at Keita.
That's his game right there. Criticized him for shooting a 3 on the first possession that he was in, but his length and his activity can give Colorado State second chance opportunities.
An 8-0 run to get back into this ball game. Keita hit the underside of the rim. Tajay didn't see it. But Isaiah Stevens has shown so much here in this opening half.
I mean, just impressive freshman, 11 points now, but has a command of the game. Understands when defender goes under a pick and roll, reads it, recognizes it, shoots it, has the ability to turn the corner, and then can finish when he gets to the rim.
Stevens getting a quick breather. Chris Martin on the floor. Carvacho came back in. Utah State starting to hurry some threes. They're getting good looks. Porter to the rim. It's tipped back in. But it's a foul called on Keita. That is his second foul.
That's a big one because his interior defense is an anchor for the Aggies. Easy one for the official. Carvacho blocks him out. Keita up over the top.
He's going to stay on the floor with the 2 fouls. With just about 6 minutes to go in the first half, Utah State's largest lead was 12. Moore uses the screen, kicks it into the corner. Martin, the open 3. Merrill on the push. Aggies haven't had a bucket in almost 4 minutes. Bean, that's a high degree of difficulty to snap the drought. Holy cow.
Such a high IQ, high energy player. Got into the vision of Merrill and then the up and under. His father played at Idaho State. He learned how to play from his dad, but he's one of those guys that will never be picked first, but he will always tend to be on the winning team.
Keita fighting hard in the low block. Remember, 2 fouls for the 7-footer from Portugal. Found him. You know, last year he tested the NBA draft waters, came back, they wanted him to add weight. He has put on 25 pounds. They wanted him to work on his offensive game. You played in the NBA, you were a scout, what do you think?
I mean, you just look at that recognition. They've been coming to double team on the low side. As soon as he caught it, he saw the defense and he quickly got into his move. Too many times posts wait to see the confirmation that the double's coming. If you catch it and you can be in rhythm to your move quickly, just get right to it.
No, he almost has a double-double in the first half. Keita with 8 points and 8 rebounds here in the opening half. Carvacho got caught in midair, didn't know where to go. 5 on the shot clock, he gets it back. Carvacho got Keita in the air, and he drew the 3rd foul. Well, The mistake of not knowing where to go with the ball works out in their favor. They get Keita off the floor.
Keita not staying down defensively on a messed up possession for Colorado State. That's a big one. Keita with 3. Idaho State up.
Now Craig Smith gambled, leaving Neemias Keita on the floor with 2 fouls, and he just picked up his 3rd. Jason Horwitz, Dan Dickow back with you here at Colorado State. Coming up on AT&T at the half, Brent Stover, Wally Zerbiak, Ryan Hollins, Gary Parrish. Get you caught up on all the highlights from this first half, up to speed on all the night's college basketball action. It's all coming up on AT&T at the half. Bad night for teams on the bubble. Rhode Island blitzed at Dayton with an opportunity there for them. Mississippi State and Arkansas blown out on the road. Penn State went to Purdue. Not that Penn State is in any danger or it's a bad loss, but Purdue already had 10 losses before tonight, and they lost at home by 12 to Penn State. And then Michigan State out of the top 25. Remember, they were the almost unanimous preseason #1 in college basketball. But all what that means is we're looking at Utah State, the preseason #1 in this conference, who Jerry Palm had heading into the day as one of his last 4 teams in the field. And Colorado State is a opportunity of a quad 2 win, something they can help build their resume.
Yeah, at this moment of the season, you're looking for anything you can to bolster that resume. But to touch on big picture stuff, nothing in college basketball is safe this year. It has been a topsy-turvy season, literally from the first weekend of games.
Merrill with 7 on the shot clock. Great look to Bean. Got caught under the basket, now 3. Merrill has to try and bail out his teammates and finds the offensive rebound.
A dagger for Colorado State. Great defense. Give up an offensive rebound, which now leads to a 2nd.
That's chased down. It is Karwowski, the junior from Poland, but it's all for naught. It's an empty possession. Carvacho. Travel. Wave it off. Man, Utah State just comes back at you with height and more height.
Well, Roddy showing us the anticipation and the athleticism to take away that layup from Bean. I'll tell you what, talking to Coach Medved at shoot-around, he really is excited for the future of this program because of the young freshmen, Stevens and Roddy.
Oh, no question. Roddy gets another block. Kendall Moore is just a sophomore. They throw it away.
Well, that's one of the great things about freshmen. They become sophomores. Makes a great play on one end, pushes it out of control, and ends up with the turnover. But Roddy has Charles Barkley-like athleticism, is how Medved described him.
Well, their core 8 players, 9 guys that get time. 6 of them are freshmen or sophomore. So the future is bright, but they're not worried about the future. They're in 2nd place in the conference, but they've got to figure out a way to stop Sam Merrill.
Well, they haven't not done that the last 3 meetings between these teams. Merrill has had his way. 10 points now on the night.
Now, in all fairness, nobody in the conference the last 2 years has done it either. He is the reigning Mountain West Conference Player of the Year. Thistlewood around the screen. That's a big triple. Colorado State had missed its last 6 from beyond the arc.
That's what makes Colorado State a difficult preparation, is they do a lot of dribble handoff actions. They do a lot of pick and rolls and post-ups, but then they've got shooters like Thistlewood. They can run off the screens on the baseline, but you can't leave that man open. Sam Merrill continues to be hot.
Now, Colorado State had cut the 12-point deficit to a 1-possession game. But with less than 90 seconds to go in the half, it's back up to 9. What a find. Stevens, Carvacho bodied by Bean. No foul. Crowd wanted one. I don't know why we always say that. Of course the crowd wanted one.
Especially at home.
Brito driving the lane. Minute to go in the opening half. Bean found himself in trouble and another block. Roddy has 3 blocks here in the half. Boy, it feels like Rams need a bucket here before the break. Thistlewood runs baseline, gets body, and earns a trip to the free throw line. Now, Utah State could not find Sam Merrill in the early going, but he has been the offense here late.
Yeah, 12 points. He can score in so many ways. Get you on the hip, a little floater, and then dribble handoff action up top with the big. The defender goes under. Merrill is so smart. He recognizes it, stays straight behind, easy step back into an open three.
And again, when they jumped out to that 16-7 lead, he didn't have a single one of those points. So 12 of the last 21 for Utah State have come from Sam Merrill.
And looking at that, Coach Craig Smith looking at his notes. I think what should be written in big, bold ink right now is get the ball to Sam Merrill. Colorado State has had no answer for him down the stretch here in the first half.
Thistlewood hits a pair. Rams will get the ball back before the half. A timeout taken by Craig Smith. We'll take it with them. Aggies have led the entire way, up by 7 here towards the end of the half. Well, the drastic difference for the Utah State Aggies this year in wins and losses on the defensive side is enormous. Almost a 20-point-a-game difference. But the way they have defended the three in wins versus losses has been key. And here tonight, Colorado State is 3 of 11, or 27% from the floor.
Yeah, that's been typical of the turnaround over this last 3-4 weeks for Utah State. Is offensively, they've been more efficient, getting the right guys the right shots, but defensively, since Keita's been back and he's been comfortable, it's really solidified their defense. When you know as a perimeter player you've got a shot blocker behind you, you're willing to climb up and influence one way or the other much better.
Keita has been on the bench for 4 minutes with 3 fouls. Bean has it swiped away to the floor. Moore gets it out of there. Stevens with 15 to go in the half. Isaiah Stevens, 11 points to lead the Rams here in the first half. Goes to work with 5 in the half. Lost the ball, gets it back. In trouble, off the glass. It's tipped up, no, and that's how we'll go to the locker room. 37-30, Sam Merrill has passed 2,000 points and he has led all scorers.
Merrill has done a nice job of running the show for Utah State. They battled out with Keita's 3 fouls.
End of the first half. It's a 7-point Aggie lead after the break. It's back to Brent Stover and the gang in New York with AT&T at the half. You're watching college basketball on CBS Sports Network, 24-hour home of CBS Sports.